you give us
Can you hear
a
me?
clap? Yeah. One more? Yeah. I've got to get you to clap. How much you had for breakfast?
It's a good question. I heard it's because we're in France. It was obviously ham and cheese and baguettes. So my name's Tim Wade and I'm a Senior Director of Architecture working for Dimension Data. My responsibilities here are quite a few, and they range from plugging cables in to monitoring what's going on with the applications that we're running to monitoring the infrastructure. So it really depends on what's happening that day.
Yeah, my name is Peter Gray. I'm the Senior Director of Technology within the Dimension Data Sports Practice, and I lead the team here on the ground at the Tour de France. I am a cycling nerd and a data nerd, so this is heaven for me.
So as a team and as a company, we are helping the ASO engaged with the fans in a more productive way.
So basically, we track the position of every cyclist every second. So we've had to create this radio frequency in the peloton where we put receiving devices on the vehicles and on the motorbikes, and obviously there's a receiving device on the bike, and then we piggyback that information on the television data, and it ends up here at the back of us in the tech zone, and then feeds into our truck, and then we do a whole bunch of analytics. So if you're following the tour on the website, that's our data. If you're following it on Twitter, that's our data. And we're trying to tell the story of the race.
Okay, so with Michael over here, we are trying to tell the story of the stage as it happens through the data that we receive. We are in connection all day long with the data scientists, and we establish a plan before the stage to try and see what kind of stories we will need to tell and how we will use the data, what kind of visualization we will create also to push them on Twitter with Athleto data, and also on TV for the international feed that is then broadcasted everywhere around the world.
The boss! Come on! Come on, boys. Right, go!
We do have two different assets in cycling. One is our sponsorship of the ASO and their races, which obviously the Tour de France is their biggest one. And the other one is Team Dimension Data. And we do have to keep them quite separate because this data that we're producing for ASO is freely available to everybody. But what we have been able to do with Team Dimension Data is figure out how can Team Dimension Data use the data that's available to every single other team better.
It's fantastic to be able to see how many people are enjoying what we're doing, but also the change that we've been able to see over the last few years. This is our 4th year that we've been involved, and the transformation in terms of what you see on the television now versus what you saw 5 years ago is just incredible.
If you look at sport in general, data's playing a bigger part in it. As every year you can see it becoming more and more prevalent. So yeah, it's technology's moving very quickly, and I think across the board it's going to be, the next 10 years are going to be absolutely fascinating, I think.